Do you remember that guy that runs a scaffold company that made the press? If not, let me refresh your memory. £11,500 worth of low emission zone fines that he clocked up because his vehicle went into the low emission zone and the daily charges, which he was apparently liable for, were not paid. Well, this guy won a ruling in the courts which basically said the signage warning of these zones were unlawful because they didn't give the information they were supposed to. Well, I have some news for you. I'm going to tell you about it now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining me once again. It's always good to see you. Please, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, add it to Cabby. It really helps support the channel and it's growing. Hit the like button, particularly on videos like this. And I can't emphasize enough when you hear what I have to say, it is going to need sharing everywhere, particularly if you care about what's happening in London and the ultra low emission zone charges. Anyway, let's get straight to the point. I received a phone call a couple of days ago from a guy called Noel Wilcox. Now, this name should be very familiar to you. Noel Wilcox is the guy who is the scaffolder that I told you about in the introduction to this video, who got these massive amounts of fines wiped off because simply the signs were unlawful. Noel reached out to me a couple of days ago, and we had a very good, lengthy phone conversation. I intend to get him on my live show on a Sunday when it's mutually convenient for both of us. I did invite him this Sunday, but it's not going to work out. That will change in the not too distant future. Anyway, the press, as they always do, haven't quite got all the facts correct around the story. Now, Noel is owed money by TfL, and they're ignoring him. That much is so in the press, and he could do something about it for his own personal gain. Of course he could. But he is acting in the public interest in that the whole thing is completely unlawful and it needs throwing in the dustbin and starting again. And all of those that have been fined, all of those that have had a daily charge, it needs refunding. Now, what Noel has opted to do, he's going to commence a legal action against TfL. Now, this is the big news. This is what they don't tell you about in the press. They're labeling it as a test case, the whole thing as a test case to try and chuck it out. Now, after speaking with Noel, he knows very much what he's talking about. He knows an awful lot about road traffic laws. And if you were to go onto Google and put in Noel Wilcox, you will see an awful lot of information about previous cases where he's been victorious. That tells me everything I need to know. Now, the problem with a guy that owns a scaffold company and expensive legal bills, he's going to need a little bit of help to pull this off. And what I want to show you now is what he actually sent me. I'll put this on the stage. This is a fundraising page which Noel has sent me, set up on GoFundMe, and this gives all of the information you need. And you can see there, Andrew Gifford, 30 quid. That's me. I've donated to this cause, and I would encourage anybody else to do so. And if we have a look down at the bottom, there's a little video there which tells you a little bit about it, and I'll play 30 seconds or so of this so you get the idea.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Noel Wilcox, and I am the scaffolder that broke the story regarding the low emission zone signs that are not enforceable. I am taking a stand against the London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, Transport for London, and their hated new ultra low emission zone charge. And I need your help. I have already won a legal case against TfL saying ULEZ fees and penalties are not lawful, so must be refunded. But
not lawful and must be refunded. That's the whole thing. Now, if we have a look at the thing, he estimates that this whole thing is going to cost £100,000. Now, it sounds like a lot of money, but as he said to me in legal terms, it isn't. It's considered peanuts in the grand scheme of things in the court systems. And I can't emphasize enough, he knows what he's talking about. If you have a look at the stages, stage one, the legal process, £2,500. Stage two, £30,000 to involve the King's Counsel legal opinion. The legal team will consist of the King's Counsel and senior barrister and lawyers. A media team, £10,000 estimate to ensure the public is kept up to date without prejudicing the ruling. And then you come to the legal fees, the whopper, and court costs, an estimate of £57,500. You know, that is what he is trying to raise. And so far, we're up to, well, 560 quid nearly. And Noel said to me on the phone that he wants as much traction with this fundraiser as possible. He's talking to the press, he's doing radio interviews, he's going to come on and speak to me in the not too distant future, and we'll set that up. But if you care about what's happening in London, if you care about you know, justice, getting this sorted out, getting this wiped away, then it is vital, absolutely vital, you share this video with everybody you know. And if you can donate to the cause, please do so, even if it's just a few quid, or if you can't afford anything at all, just share it. Let's get that word out. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for indulging me as always. Get this shared. Share it everywhere you can. Share it with your friends, social media, everything. We need as much traction to this as possible. So important. Thank you very much. And I'll see you shortly with one more. Toodaloo.